All right, let's get into some cars. Let's get into some cars, man. Like what we want to see out there, man. Like, let me see. I like I like watching off the cars. They got. Let's see. No, do you want to hit them top off, man? Or do a specific car? Let's do a specific car. Let's say McLaren. Mm, mm, Oh, let's see. What about the hybrid McLaren? Which one that is? McLaren hybrid. I I definitely definitely okay. It's a Euro car. This is the
Hyundai
McLaren
Palisade versus
Artura.
Toyota
What?
Highlander.
Artura?
Hyundai
The
Palisade
McLaren
wins
Artura?
every time. Get 3.49% APR for 40.
The hybrid. How y'all feel about
McLaren is
supercars and
known for its
hybrids? I
precision-built,
am
race-inspired
for look,
supercars.
before we even start, I am not no professional. I clearly just like cars and how they look. I know I'm not no special. Like you give me the money, I don't know. I probably just end up getting a pickup truck, like a Ford Raptor and something. But I'm trying to get out my, I'm trying to just be, I'm trying to get out of regular stuff, man. Like I like cars, and I do like cars, but I am interested. But I'm also interested in like, uh, I guess Ford cars. Like this is a hybrid supercar, it should make sense. Like, this is definitely fun, fast, and like it should be, you know, part of the solution, I guess. You know, I don't know. I don't know. I think all right, let's go. Yeah, man, this is the McLaren Artura first drive by Engadget. Engadget, yeah.
And while the company itself has only been building cars for more than a few customers for the past 11 years, its racing lineage makes itself apparent in everything it builds. Which brings us
Oh,
to the electrification of McLaren. Sure, we had the P1 and the Speedtail, those were both hybrids, but those were low production vehicles. For everyone else, there's the Artura. And when I say everyone else, I mean everyone else who
man,
can
this is
afford a
good looking turtle.
$230,000 sports car. The McLaren Artura is built on a completely new architecture. It is a hybrid, but it's more than that. It's a plug-in hybrid. It's a PHEV, like a RAV4 Prime, but not like a RAV4 Prime, because you can't do this in a RAV4 Prime. So it's like a RAV4 Prime in that they both have four wheels and a steering wheel, and that's pretty much where it ends. The 7.5 kilowatt hour battery pack that they have in this vehicle will give you about 11 to 15 miles of EV only driving. EPA says 11 miles, McLaren says you could probably eke out about 15 miles. Of course, that's way lower than what you would get from, well, most heads on the market. They're typically hitting about 30 to 40 miles of range in EV only mode, but those vehicles can't do, this. The Artura has 671 horsepower and 530 pound-feet of torque. As you would expect, that low-end torque at launch comes from the electric motor, so you get the instant boost of an EV coupled with the top-end power of a twin-turbo V6. You put all that together in a car that weighs about 3,000 pounds.
What they mean by twin turbo?
So it's light and fast, which is
I can
exactly
clearly
what you want
attest
from a
to
McLaren.
I'm letting y'all
How does
know.
it feel behind the wheel? Well,
I'm not
it
no
feels like a
expert.
McLaren.
I'm
It's
telling y'all
quick,
now
it's
before y'all
nimble,
see
it's
me
tight, it's just
and
stuck to the
I
road.
misspoke.
It's everything you want
I'm
from
a
a McLaren
casual.
that, well, you can also drive
I'm not
around in
saying I'm
EV
gonna
mode.
get this. I'm not saying
And
I'm gonna able
To
to
be
get it.
honest, that EV mode, that
Like I
that
said,
battery
I
pack and that
like
electric
trucks,
motor, they only help this vehicle. You can do 0 to 60
and I don't
in
even
3
know what's
seconds,
going on
which means is that low
inside.
end torque
So
that you're
I'm
getting
gonna need
from
this gas
the
tank.
electric motor that's situated
I
between
just think
the
it's tight.
actual engine and the transmission, it gives you that instant on torque to take off as the motor catches up. So you're getting the same experience you would get from an electric vehicle going from 0 to 60. You're getting in a McLaren with the V6. That's outstanding. And of course the handling is just great because it weighs about 3,000 pounds. It's really sort of small, lightweight, nimble, powerful machine that is just a joy to drive. One thing I do appreciate about this vehicle is that instead of drive-by-wire, where I turn the steering wheel and the computer turns the actual tires, this is hydraulic assisted driving, which means I can feel everything. I can feel the feedback from the road, which is something that's really tough with drive-by-wire. McLaren just said, you know what, let's just keep it the way people want it. They want hydraulic assisted driving when they're driving a McLaren.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Down the center of gravity of the vehicle. But McLaren went one step further with its V6, which is actually pretty small for a V6. It's also lower to the ground, and the way they've angled the cylinders also bring down the center of gravity of the vehicle. So no matter what you're doing in this vehicle, powertrain wise, it's lowering its center of gravity, meaning that it'll be planted to the road much better. McLaren didn't just carve out a hole in order to place a battery into this vehicle. What it did is it created a brand new architecture.
You know what color I want to see it in? I just, it's easy to see it for me. It's just like, y'all remember them, y'all remember them PT Cruisers? That purple, the Cash Money purple PT Cruisers? Y'all gotta slap that purple on that, the McLaren. Y'all gotta do that for me. Slap the purple on the McLaren for me. You know? Yeah, I know, I know, I know, but I can't get it out of my head now. Like I'm not seeing black no more. I'm seeing this. I'm seeing yeah, I, yeah. Whatever purple that was. Slap that on there. Yeah, drip it all on that. Purple McLaren. I think that look. Yeah.
And at the center of that is the
Even
McLaren
though this is a budget,
Carbon
but it's
Lightweight
great.
Architecture, the MCLA, and it's
I
a
would
new
definitely go for
carbon
purple.
fiber tub that encases the passenger area. Now, this carbon fiber tub is lighter, it's stiffer, and because it comes from a racing lineage and it's built to protect drivers, is actually safer than most vehicles. McLaren didn't stop with the powertrain when it came to innovating this vehicle. Now, this hood right here, this is regular stamped aluminum. Every automaker does that. But this door panel, this is actually vacuum formed aluminum, so they can get this nice swoop. They get these really nice tight edges, something they really couldn't get from stamping. They vacuum formed, so they heated up the aluminum, they vacuum formed it, and the most interesting part is this giant panel. This is just one giant panel on the back of the vehicle. By doing this, you can use fewer panels, which means you don't have to have as much structure in order to hold the panels in, which means lighter weight, and you don't have panel gaps, which means better aerodynamics. The electric motor propelling the vehicle is situated between the motor and the transmission in the bell housing, so it has a direct connection to the powertrain. Here's a fun little fact. In order to make the transmission smaller, there is no reverse gear in the transmission. Instead, when you put in reverse, it's actually using the EV motor to back you up. On the road, it has, well, 4 modes. Right now, I am in electric mode. When you start up the McLaren, it starts up in E mode. It starts up in electric mode. Right now, I'm in electric mode. It's quiet. You can, of course, put it in comfort mode. When you do that, if you start the vehicle cold in the morning, it'll warm up the engine for about 45 seconds before it engages. So you'll hear the engine warming up while you're still in electric mode, and then once the engine's nice and warm, after about 45 seconds, it'll engage, and then you'll feel that extra power. You also have track mode and sport mode,
I
and
like
track and
small
sport,
cars
comfort
like
mode,
that.
all
I
those
don't
modes
really
you
be
can
wanting
use
that tank like that.
the
But like
electric and
you spend this
the
much on the car
gas-powered engine, so you're getting sort of the best
and
of both worlds.
you have an engine problem
Electric
because
mode,
you
you
just
can
go on a
go
cold start.
11 to 15, maybe 18
Especially
miles in electric mode. EPA says 11, and it'll stay in electric mode up to 81 miles
if
an
I was
hour.
in this,
So
like,
right
if I
now I'm
had to get into like
doing
these
57
hypercars,
miles an hour. I'm in
I
electric
just need to
mode,
know
and
the
it'll stay in
backseat.
electric mode
Yeah,
until I
these cars
deplete
are
the
nice,
battery.
but
So there's no like,
I
oh, I
can't
got on
drive
the
this every
freeway at
day.
65, boom, it brings on the engine. Nope, I'm just gonna hang out in electric mode for a little while. Charging the battery, you can either plug it in at night, or you can allow the V6 engine to charge the battery. Now it does that automatically. There's automatic mode where it just sort of figures out like, oh, I'm gonna charge the battery here, I'm gonna charge the battery there. Or you can put it on max mode and it'll just start charging the battery. Even if you're just cruising in comfort mode, you can feel the engine turn up just a little bit in order to feed energy back to that battery pack. And of course, like any good McLaren, it has launch mode. So we're out in the middle of nowhere,
See, this what
literally no one around.
See right here.
Here we go. The in-car tech, I'm a really big fan of this display. This display cluster is actually really quite nice. It's bright, it's easy to read, it's not too busy, but it still has a ton of information. It can give you as much or as little information as you really want. Over here, the infotainment system is, well, it's housed in an 8-inch display touchscreen. It's not huge, but no one buys a McLaren for the infotainment system. Yes, you can make some adjustments. Yes, you can do some navigation, but the real big news here is that it supports Apple CarPlay and Android Automotive, because we all know once you set up your car, you're just going to plug in your phone to figure out where you want to go. One feature that's new on, well, any McLaren is adaptive cruise control. You know, the thing where you can set your cruise control to 70. If you get stuck behind somebody, they're doing 60, you'll slow down to 60. That's on this McLaren. When you're stuck on the interstate, you can use adaptive cruise control. It does have lane keeping assist, which is essentially just telling you, hey, you're exiting your lane, but there is no lane keeping, like centering. The McLaren will not drive for you. It will not steer the vehicle for you. If you buy
I'm gonna try another. I'm gonna try another video. I'm gonna try another video. I'm gonna try another video because he did good with the specs, but I need more theatrics. We trying to react.